thoughts on today, Mike? How disappointed are you now to be going into the final week of the season for the playoffs?
Yeah, definitely didn't expect this. It's pretty frustrating. Got a lot of guys laying it on the line, and you want to get the results you feel like the team deserves and should get, and you come up short. That's kind of the nature of football when you make critical mistakes. With points scored off turnovers and some. I think we had a collection of penalties that really cost us. So, those types of things will leave you with the type of result we were trying to avoid. But it's still we still have games to play. We have one in particular against the New York Jets that we have to respond to, and that's what I'll be focused on, getting the team channeled towards, because that's there's you go through tough stretches in seasons, you go through tough stretches in games, and we have to learn how to get ourselves out of that at some point in time. I don't know the severity. I believe it was on making the tackle on the pick six. But that's something that we'll find out more in the coming days.
Mike, after the start you guys had, how do you kind of get your head around the 5-game losing streak, and what do you tell your guys to try to get out of it?
Well, you try to identify the biggest challenge is that people have to deal with losing for over a month now, and trying to channel all of the desire, the want, the letdown into a productive direction, and you have to critically assess each and every game. Say, is it one thing? Is it a bunch of things? Or what can you correct? It is definitely disappointing from my perspective, for the team, for the fan base, for everyone really involved. And you have to do something with it. You have to understand how we got to this position, and how we make sure that we don't return to a scenario where we can't stop the bleeding, so to speak. So, I think there's guys have had opportunities to play. There's been people that have made some tremendous plays and done very well with their opportunities on the field. There's some guys that I think will feel, in hindsight, looking back on it, that they could have done more. It doesn't matter at this point. It's all about responding. It's tough for anybody to really put themselves out there and accept these types of defeats in consecutive order. But we play a tough game, and absolutely nobody will feel sorry for us, as they shouldn't. So we have to figure it out as a group collectively, how to finish the season the way we started, in the win column and not in the loss column.
Mike, how do you gather your thoughts after a game like this?
Oh, it's tough for me. I don't typically. I go into the game, believing in the people that I work with, believing in the players in the locker room, and this one was absolutely no different. My expectation is to prepare us to win, and so when we don't, it's definitely not fun. In this particular situation, I felt less sad and more angry, just at how certain things transpired, because I want desperately for everyone involved to get what I feel like they deserve, and when that's short, I struggle not to start with myself. I think that will always be the case, but I think we'll see on the tape that there's a lot of people that could have done X, Y, or Z that much better to win a 2-point loss. And, that we knew going into the game that we had to win the turnover battle, and that did not happen in all three phases, because it's not only not turning it over, but it's getting the ball back and creating turnovers. We were unable to do that, which we knew in this type of game was going to be critical. So that's we got to find different ways to get that message put forth and applied on the field, which is kind of coaching 101.
Mike, were X, Armstead, or Chubb very close? Any of those three?
Yeah, they all were working out pregame, and those three we were, all three weren't really between themselves and the medical staff knew it wasn't the best for the Dolphins to put them out there.
Every team has injuries, but when you're down to the third quarterback, third or fourth left tackle, at one point all 5 projected starters in the secondary out, and unavailable. I guess my question would be, is this sort of the biggest challenge to roster depth that you've been a part of?
I'm sure it's up there. I don't really look at it in that way, just because I trust the players that we have in the locker room, and we've won plenty of games with guys rising to the occasion and stepping in for starters that weren't available. So I'm sure that it would be up there. It feels in the moment like we are having to adjust lineups more frequently than I can remember. Whether that's the case, who knows? I know one thing: there's not anybody in the locker room that is ostracizing this loss, because they know deep down that we were plenty capable of getting the job done, and we didn't.